Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone, and today we're previewing the Championship. Yeah, it's not like we've got the World Cup quarterfinals this week, but anyway, yeah, the Championship is returning, and we already had a game last week, so I thought I'd quickly review that. And yeah, we've finished 3-0 to Sunderland. They were taking on Millwall, and yeah, all games came in the second half, one from Diallo, one from Pritchard, one from Sims, and yeah, a really good win from Sunderland this one. Really impressive performance. Millwall will be disappointed because obviously they had some decent momentum going into the break. But yeah, for Sunderland, a really good victory. But on with the games this week then, starting on Saturday. And yeah, it's Blackburn taking on Preston at 12 o'clock. And yeah, Blackburn coming into this one off the back of a 2-0 friendly win against Ajax, which was quite impressive. But yeah, I mean, before that, in the league, obviously had that 3-0 loss to Burnley, which would have hit hard, but before that, were on a great run. They may not have been playing outstandingly, but they're still in a very good position. Preston ninth as well, going very well as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way this goes. I still think Blackburn at home will be favourites, but yeah, I can see Preston potentially sneaking a result. Moving on into 12:30, Rotherham taking on Bristol City, and yeah. Rotherham coming into the break off the back of 4 points in the week before the break, which obviously would have been a really good momentum booster for them after a bit of a tough run before that. So yeah, I think they'll be coming into this one with a bit of confidence against the Bristol City side, who, yeah, let's face it, they were struggling before, winless in sixth before the international break. But yeah, it's an opportunity for them to reset. I'm going to say it'll be a draw here. It's kind of hard to predict when kind of form goes out the window. But moving on then to Reading against Coventry, and yeah, I think Reading, although they did get a win against Hull just before the break, I think the break has come at a really ideal time for them. Obviously their form before that wasn't that great. There are a lot of injuries as well, so yeah, it may be ideal timing for them. But one team I would say that the break definitely hasn't come at a good time for is Coventry, who won 4 on the trot before it and were flying under Mark Robins. Obviously had all the off-field drama this week as well, which won't help, so I'm going to say a surprise winning victory potentially. Moving on then to Blackpool as they take on Birmingham at Bloomfield Road, and yeah, Blackpool coming into this one off the back of 4 losses on the trot, so another team that really needed that break. But yeah, Birmingham, their kind of good form was maybe just petering out a bit with 1 point from the last 2. But yeah, before that, they were going along nicely. So yeah, I don't know. I think Blackpool will definitely be happy with these two sides to have a break. But yeah, it's still a game that you really feel like could go either way. I'm going to say it'll be a draw at home, but I think this is a game that could go either way. Moving on then to Middlesbrough as they take on Luton at the Riverside, and yeah, Middlesbrough 3 wins on the trot before the break, 4 wins in 5, and they were on a really good run. But yeah, I still think this could be beneficial. Give them more time for Michael Carrick to get his ideas across against a Luton side who kind of were draw specialists, drawn 3 of the last 5, won 1 and lost 1. So yeah, they were kind of hard to get any form. Really, Luton currently sitting in 11th. Middlesbrough though, I think they're just on such a charge. The break would have benefited them as well. More time on the training pitch. I'm going to say it'll be a home win here. Moving on then to Millwall as they take on Wigan. And yeah, we really touched on Millwall, really disappointing return to action last time out, after being on a pretty solid run before the break, really, weren't they, charging themselves up into playoff contention. So yeah, they'll be disappointed with that, it's for sure. And yeah, I think Wigan coming into this one, they were a team that really needed the break, even though they did get the win against Blackpool just because they were on such poor form. But yeah, I still think Millwall at home may have a bit too much on here, so I'm going to say it'll be 1-0 to the London team. Moving on then to a bit of a Yorkshire derby, Sheffield United taking on Huddersfield, and yes, Sheffield United coming into this one off the back of 4 wins in the last 5 before the break, so maybe not the ideal time for them, because obviously they had that little downward spiral, but they seem to have found form again since then, which is obviously good. But yeah, Huddersfield, yeah, they just don't look great, do they? Picked up 4 points from the last 2 before the break, but yeah, still, I'm just not convinced by them at all, really. So I'm going to say a 3-0 Sheffield United win here. Moving on then to Stoke as they take on Cardiff at the Bet365 Stadium, and yes, Stoke coming into this one on the back of, let's say, an inconsistent run of form before the break, 3 wins and 2 losses, kind of a similar story at Cardiff as well, 2 wins, 3 losses, so yeah, you just never really know what you're going to get from either of these teams. Hudson obviously appointed permanent manager of Cardiff, but yeah, Stoke just staying along in middle low table, to be honest. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, partly because you just don't know what you're going to get from these two sides. Moving on then to Swansea as they take on Norwich. And yeah, the break for the World Cup came at a perfect time for Swansea. They were kind of the draw specialists, 3 draws on the trot before. There were some winnable games in there, Huddersfield, Wigan, that sort of stuff. So yeah, not great from them. But yeah, they needed the break. Could argue the same about Norwich as well, having just lost to home to Middlesbrough, and before that their form, not brilliant. Let's put it that way. So yeah, they need the break, and I think it will be the perfect time to reset. I think Norwich will get the win here. Moving on into Sunday's games, and at 3 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, it's QPR taking on Burnley. And yeah, QPR coming into this one, obviously losing Michael Beale to Rangers, which will be hugely frustrating for them. But yeah, in the end, I kind of feel like, yeah, he was saying he wasn't leaving, and then he leaves a week later. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's good to get him gone, who knows. But coming up against the Burnley side, who are bang on form, still looking really strong, I don't think it'll be an easy game for the QPR at all. So I'm going to say one for Burnley. Moving on then to Watford, as they take on Hull at Vicarage Road. And yeah, Watford, we're going into the break on, a pretty decent run of form, I would say. So yeah, maybe the break didn't come at an ideal time for them, but at the same time, new manager, when isn't there a new manager at Watford, it gave them time to, kind of reset and get more time on the training pitch as well. Similar story for Hull under new boss Liam Rosenior. So yeah, it's going to feel could go either way, but I think Watford at home will definitely be favourites for this one. Moving on into the Monday night football, and yeah, that's Sunderland taking on West Brom at the Stadium of Light. And yes, Sunderland coming into this one on the back of that 3-0 win against Millwall. And yeah, hopefully that's the sort of performance we've seen more often. We have seen it in flashes this season, but yeah, just need to see it more consistently now. Really, really good win for them. But West Brom, they were flying under Carlos Colbrand as well before the break. So yeah, it's a game that you really feel could go either way. But I think Sunderland will just be on the back of that momentum. I'm going to say 1-0 to them. But anyway, guys, that's it really. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, don't thoughts, comments, and move on to this for daily football news, and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.